this morning, and welcome to a Julian Sayin would have been starting at Alabama if Nick Saban was coach last year edition of the OHIO podcast. Do us a big favor if you don't mind and smash that like button. Also, if you're not already, subscribe to the channel. It's free, cost you nothing. Zilch, nada, zip. It's free, helps the channel out. The other thing you can do to help channel out is if at any point during this video something strikes your fancy, put a comment down in the comment section below. That helps us reach a much broader audience as well. All right, guys. So a lot of Julian Sayin talk as the former Buckeyes go to the combine and get questioned, and some of the questions are asked about current Buckeyes, and there's a belief that Julian Sayin is the next guy. And Corey on his show last night talked about why he believes Julian Sayin is a great fit for Ryan Day and his passing attack and his offense, which I agree. As I reported weeks and weeks ago, this coaching staff is super high on Julian Sayin. I was told that they believe Julian Sayin is the guy, and there's nothing that has been said or done to tell me otherwise that Julian Sayin is the at least the leader in the pack to win the starting job at Ohio State in 2025. Now, I know Lincoln Kienholz has publicly said that he's not going anywhere, that he is going to stick around and compete for that starting position, and rightfully so. I think Ryan Day would encourage him to do so. There's nothing wrong with competition. You want good, healthy competition, especially at the quarterback position, because it's going to push Julian to be that much better. And if he cracks under pressure, well, then we know maybe he's not as great as we all think he is, but he has all the intangibles. He throws a great ball. He's got great arm strength. He's got good accuracy. He's able to read defenses pretty quickly and efficiently. These are all things that Ryan Day looks for. And he's just lacking game reps, and he's lacking some time and seasoning that gives him that leadership. That's all going to come in 2025 if indeed he wins the starting position. But what if he wouldn't have left Alabama? Of course, Nick Saban retires, and when Nick Saban retires, Julian Sayin hits the portal, ends up going to Ohio State, and bolstering their room, and the rest is history. But what if Nick Saban hadn't retired? Well, I will tell you this much right now. Um, he was a lock. He was Nick Saban's dude. Okay. Excuse me. Still down here in Florida, and I'm apparently getting myself prepared to head back north and get into the cold. So, anyways, Julian Sayin was Nick Saban's dude, right? And if Nick Saban hadn't retired, I believe Nick Saban would have pulled a 2017 Alabama moment. Now, what do I mean by a 2017 Alabama moment? Well, let's go back to the 2018 national championship game where the Crimson Tide uh, went into halftime trailing Georgia 13 to nothing. Of course, Jalen Hurts was the quarterback then for the Crimson Tide, and he had done nothing offensively for Nick Saban and the Tide in the first half. Coming out of halftime, Nick Saban pulled the trigger. In comes freshman Tua Tagovailoa, and the rest is history. Alabama goes on to win 26 to 23 and defeat Georgia for the national championship, the 2018 national championship for the 2017 season. Now let's look at Alabama this year, right? Alabama this year, not a great season. Okay, they end 20. I guess it would have been 2023 season in January 1st, 2024, losing to the eventual national champion and the team up north 27 to 20. And then they go into the off season and into the season, and it's all about making sure that Kalen DeBoer, the new head coach, is getting this team where Alabama, keeping that level of play what that Alabama fans are used to. And Jalen Milroe goes into that season as one of the Heisman favorites. He's a dual threat quarterback that everybody in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, for the most part, was in love with because he had a strong arm, he had great legs, and he was going to be the focal point of DeBoer's offense in 2024. And then the season happened, and the season wasn't all that good for Alabama. In fact, it wasn't great at all. They end up losing 41 to 30. They actually beat, excuse me, they end up beating Georgia 41 to 34. And it looks like, hey, Alabama's back, everything's great. And then the very next week, they lose to Vanderbilt 40 to 35. They hold on for a 2-point win against South Carolina. Very easily could have lost that game before losing 24 to 17 to Tennessee. They also lose 24 to 3 to Oklahoma. And those three losses kept them out of the college football playoff. You can't lose to Vanderbilt and Oklahoma, who were 6-6, I believe, and expect to make the college football playoff with three losses. That's just not going to happen. You got to go out and win the rest of your conference, I guess, in order to do that, which they didn't do. And of course, they finished the season with a second consecutive postseason loss to the Maize and Blue, 19 to 13. During that entire season, DeBoer never pulls Milrow. He ends up going 205 of 319 passing for 2,844 yards, a completion percentage of 64.3, 16 touchdowns to 11 interceptions, and was sacked 23 times. He did lead the team, however, in rushing, which actually that's not a good thing either. 168 carries for 726 yards, 20 touchdowns. The next closest runner was the running back Jam Miller, who had 145 carries for 668 yards and 7 touchdowns. So Milrow was basically the offense, and offense wasn't great under DeBoer. And you have to believe that the given the experience and the history that Nick Saban had, that he would have pulled Milrow and went to Julian Sayin at some point during that season when he knew all was lost. I think it would have been thanks, but no thanks, Milrow. It's time to go to the kid. If he was willing to pull your starting quarterback down 13-0 at halftime in a national championship game, he would have pulled Milrow. I got to hear from the Alabama fans. I need to know what you all think. Would this have happened like I'm suggesting would have happened? Do you believe that Julian Sayin would have been the starter at some point last year for the Crimson Tide? Of course, he's going to be the starter this year for the defending national champions in Ohio State. I'm pretty confident in that. But could he have been actually a starter last year if Nick Saban would have stayed? And my second question to Alabama fans is this: do you think DeBoer would have pulled Milrow if Julian Sayin wouldn't have transferred? If he was still on the roster, do you believe Julian Sayin would have been the starter last year, regardless of the fact that Nick Saban wasn't there? I would love to know what you all think. What do you all think? If you're not an Alabama fan, I still want to know what you think. Do you think Julian Sayin would have started at some point last year for Alabama, like I do, um, if he would have stuck around instead of jumping in the transfer portal? It's a question that I need answered from all of you. And then, of course, let me know what you all think Julian Sayin's going to do for Ohio State in 2025. I think he's going to be sensational. Everything I hear about him is he's the man, and we're really looking forward to watching him play in Scarlet and Gray. All right, let me share my screen again. Matthew 11:28 is our verse of the day. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Um, for someone who deals with anxiety from time to time and some seasonal depression, I lean very heavy on my faith in those times, and this verse offers me a lot of comfort. And so, if that's you, feel free to give that a try as well. Maybe it'll help you like it has helped me. All right, guys, this is my last day in Florida. I will be heading north this evening and tomorrow. I don't know that we'll be able to get a new video out for you tomorrow morning. Probably not, but Thursday night, call in show. I'll be back. I want to talk to all of you. You need to update me on everything that's going on in Buckeye world. I need to hear from all of you. Let me know what you all think down in the comment section below. We'll see y'all Thursday night. Have a great day, everybody. Be kind to one another. I owe someone's OH. Sing Carmen High with all your heart. Till next time. Go Bucks.